Let's find out what's been going on behind the palace doors. There's a fair few headlines recently, isn't there?
There are. Sunday Times royal editor Roya Nikkhah joins us now for her royal roundup. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start, first of all, with Harry, because the rumour is that he's refusing to return to royal duties unless William... How do we know this?
Well, I have to say, I'm puzzled by all of this coverage because, well, can I be honest?
Yes.
I did a very big piece on Harry recently for the Sunday Times magazine where I spoke to a lot of his friends, a lot of people who know him and are close to him now, and I didn't get the vibe from anyone that he's keen to return to the UK and keen to return to royal duties. So, yes, he comes back now and then for charity work. Yes, he came back for the Invictus Games anniversary in May. We'll probably see him here next month for Well Child. But I don't think he's looking for any kind of return, so I'm not sure where this is coming from.
Is it the speculation that we saw him at the funeral of their uncle with William? They weren't sitting together, of course.
Yeah.
So we understand that he stayed with his uncle's family or his mum's family rather than his family.
Yes. And that was lovely, and I think you would expect to see him at the funeral of his uncle, who he was very close to, but I don't think that signifies any keenness to return to royal duties. I haven't got that sense at all from people close to him.
I think he's very happy sitting in Montecito, sipping on a margarita on the balcony.
He left, he chose to leave royal life, it didn't suit him. I don't think he's doing a U-turn anytime soon.
So he might not be keen from what you expect. Would the king welcome that return, or is he sort of like, you know, Harry, right now I think you've got to stay where you are?
I don't think the king is looking for any added numbers to the royal family on an official perspective. He loves seeing his son when he can, you know, as his son. But Harry and Meghan decided to leave. I don't see them coming back into the royal fold for working duties anytime soon, if ever.
OK.
Let's talk about Amazon releasing a trailer for the Newsnight interview, Prince Andrew with Emily Maitlis.
Yes. I saw this trailer last night, dropped into my inbox, and I thought, gosh, it's a three-parter. I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing a screening on Monday. It just brings it all to the fore again, doesn't it? This story never goes away. We had Scoop earlier this year, which was, of course, Sam McAllister, one of the researchers and producers on it. It was her sort of take on it. This is Emily Maitlis as producer. So I think we'll get a lot more of her perspective on it. But it's just an unwelcome distraction for the royal family that this saga around Andrew never goes away as much as they want it to.
How do you think it's going to affect public reaction?
It's interesting, that, because I think the public have kind of made up their minds about Andrew, and I think the royal family have thought, you know, since 2019, he stepped back after all those, you know, the Newsnight interview came out. He stepped back because it was an unwelcome distraction from official duties, and I think people have sort of made up their minds. I'm not sure this is going to change the dial on that, but again, it's just an unwelcome distraction.
Let's have a little look at the trailer. This is Amazon's version. As you say, we've already had Netflix's version, but this is the new one that Emily Maitlis is the exec producer of.
Emily Maitlis, BBC.
I've been warned about you. You have a bit of a reputation.
Well, for you, I'll try and behave.
I'm sure you will.
What's my strategy?
It's two targets. Why did he stay at a convicted paedophile's house? And did he have sex with Jeffrey when she was underage?
Oh, she's cocky.
You can handle her. You treat him like any other man facing allegations of sexual assault.
People forget, I've been to war. I'm going to blow this out the water.
I think one of the first things you think is immediately, so Ruth Wilson's playing Emily Maitlis, you've got Michael Sheen playing Prince Andrew, and you compare them to how it was done. And it's absolutely fascinating how they get those actors, the brilliance of those actors, to become...
Ruth Saul was the other one,
and to become the characters that they're playing.
Yeah.
But real characters.
Yeah, well, Michael Sheen's very good at that.
He is.
Look, I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but again, I don't think it's going to be particularly good news for Prince Andrew, but nothing is these days.
OK, next one is...
Some good news.
Yes, actually, this is good news. Queen Camilla has given an update on the King, what she said.
Yeah, so she was out and about this week, visiting a new cancer treatment centre in Bath. She was asked how the King was doing. She said he's doing very well, thank you very much. What I thought was also very interesting is she was talking to a male patient who was having chemotherapy, and we know the King has been receiving chemotherapy for his cancer. And this patient said, I feel quite tired. And she said, that's interesting. She said, men find it very hard to admit when they're tired from the treatment. And that rings true of the fact that we know Camilla's had trouble holding the King back from public duties. He came back to public duties from April onwards. Hannah said it's going to be a very, low-key summer programme. It was anything but.
Was it straight in?
He was all over the place. He did so many duties. We're about to go to Australia and Samoa with them. So he's back, raring to go.
But I think the public are really behind him now. I think it's a very smart choice that he's done, where he's thrown himself back into it, and he's like, yes, I will go and see everybody and meet everybody and tell them how I'm doing, give them updates.
I think I agree, and I think he wants to show people that it's really difficult. It's an awful disease, but there's a way to sort of work through it sometimes.
And 2 years, is it 2 years marks on Sunday?
2 years.
His second anniversary on the throne.
I know. What a 2 years that's been.
Extraordinary.
I mean, who would have thought this year would have gone the way it's gone with him and the Princess of Wales, of course, both having cancer. It's been a very full-on 2 years, but he'll be marking that privately up at Balmoral.
Yes. Yeah. Is he marking it with the limited edition headscarves he's releasing in honour of his mum?
I love how you segued there.
I mean, I love the opportunity to add a little bit of merch to the royal household.
We've had the spray. Remember the perfume?
We had the perfume.
He's got these lovely, sustainable designer silk headscarves he's selling at Sandringham, a nod to his late mother. And I have to say, I think this is charming, because I used to love seeing her in headscarves and those pictures of her looking very chic when she was riding. Woman after my own heart who loved horses. And he's selling these, and they're all made from sort of sustainable designers, sustainable materials. And I think it's a rather charming, lovely nod to his late mother and her love of a headscarf.
So the team that he's done it with, Vin and Omi, he first met in 2018. He gave them some weeds from his garden at Highgrove. And they created fabric weaved from the stems.
He was like, you can have my nettles, and they made something beautiful. What's not to love about that? The king loves his fashion.
Wow, and some soup on the side.
He loves his sustainable fashion.
Yeah, because there's another where he's doing a carbon offset programme as well. What's that he's doing? It's something about... where was it?
They're collecting all the milk cartons from the Sandringham
cartons.
canteen and somehow turning them into furniture as a carbon offset for this project. Don't ask me how.
How does that work?
I'll ask the king when I next see him.
Sitting on milk cartons. I like that as an idea. And then Prince William is out and about.
He is.
He's at the Saatchi Gallery.
He is. I will be swinging by there after this. He's at the Saatchi Gallery today for Homelessness Reframed, which is part of his Homewards campaign to try and end homelessness. It's a wonderful exhibition. I've seen it. It's free to the public, and I'd encourage everyone to go and see it, because what is really important to William is to try and reshape people's perceptions and judgments about homelessness. It's not just rough sleeping. It's about the unseen homelessness too, and sofa surfing and a lot of that. So there's work there from artists who've experienced homelessness. There's work there from big artists like Mark Quinn. It's a fantastic exhibition. Everyone should go and see it.
And, of course, it was something that his mum was really passionate about as well, wasn't it?
Well, she was patron of Centrepoint. He's patron of Centrepoint. He works with the Passage. She used to take him to the Passage to go and see people who are homeless from a very young age. It's right in there. It's very important to him as a legacy.
Yeah,
fantastic.
He's absolutely trying to follow in his mum's footsteps, isn't he?
Quite right, too.
Yeah.
I think we need to get you a headscarf.
Me?
With horses.
Lovely, and a gin and tonic on the side, I'm there.
As long as there's some booze involved, you're always happy, aren't you?
Order them.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Roya, thank you for joining us. Lovely to see you today.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.